Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I went to see Madam Web. Guys, we need to talk about this movie. Like, we seriously need to talk about this movie. Okay, let's start. First of all, this movie is based on the character of Cassandra Webb. If you guys are not familiar with the character of Cassandra Webb, she is from the Marvel the Marvel comic book universe. She first appeared in Spider-Man number 210 in 1980, and she was his character who was this she had like precognitive powers, telepathy, clairvoyance, and that all stemmed from her mutant gene. In case you did not know that, she had a mutant gene. As the relationship between her and Spider-Man was one of every time that he would need help, she would pop up and kind of like give him help because of her clairvoyance. Like she sees the future, obviously, so she was able to help him in a few areas, a few times. They've kind of gone back and forth. I mean, there's just so much about her story that if I give you guys so many details about Cassandra Webb, this video would probably be like 3 hours. So I'm just giving you like the overlay. She was never really like aligned as a hero or a villain, but she was mostly doing good in the comic book universe. I personally never saw her like doing anything out of content. At one point, she was like a guardian, not a guardian per se, but like a very influential person in not only Julia Carpenter's life but also Mattie Franklin's life. These are the characters that appear in the movie, but we'll get to that in a minute. Also, in the comic books, it is very apparent that she has this condition called myasthenia gravis, or grave. Hopefully, I am pronouncing that correctly. You guys correct me in the comments. Let me know if I'm actually pronouncing that. But that is also mentioned in the movie. But in the comic books, she is still plagued with that condition. And she is connected to like a life support system created by her husband, Jonathan Webb. And it kind of looks like a spider web, kind of referencing her name, Madam Web, and all the spider things going on. Okay. So, all right, let's switch it over to the movie. So I saw this movie today. And of course, I said I was going to watch it and review it for you guys. So promise is kept, right? Now, I understand that for movie purposes and for, being 2024, and we have to change certain things for a character to move from a certain point of the comic books into the movie cinematic universe, there has to be changes. Okay, so in the movie, Madam Web is played by Dakota Johnson. I have to say, first of all, Dakota Johnson did a good job portraying the character with the material that she was given. I have nothing against Dakota Johnson. I think she did a good job. I like Dakota Johnson, and I think she was very good in this role. To me, she's Madam Web. Okay, that being said, let me get into the movie version. Now, guys, if you have not seen Madam Web, I have got to warn you, there are going to be huge spoilers ahead, so go watch it and then come back. Obviously, non-spoiler, this movie is about this character who has powers to see into the future, and she's trying to save these three girls from getting unalived by this dude. Okay, that was the non-spoiler part. Going into spoiler part. All right. Again, let me mention really quick that in the comic books, there are different variations of Madam Web. Of course, you know that there are multiple universes in the comic books, and of course these ideas from the comic books are now, we are seeing them coming into fruition into the Marvel Cinematic Universe because of Doctor Strange, the multi-universe of madness and all that. So now we're seeing the different types of Earth. We also saw it in the Marvels that Monica went into another universe and another Earth, and so now it's starting to really, the seeds are starting to spread, guys. And so in this variation and in this movie for Madam Web, which is a standalone movie, I mean, it's only in association with Marvel. This is not an exact Marvel movie, so Disney did not put in their 2 cents in this one. This is from Sony, Columbia, and all these other companies, so this is a standalone Marvel movie. Let's get into the movie. Okay, so again, we have Dakota Johnson playing the titular character of Madam Web. And then the main thing is that she has an accident where it is revealed that she has these clairvoyant gifts. Total different from the comic book where she is born with a mutant gene. In this one, she is basically given these powers through a spider bite. Legends and the Amazon and all that other good stuff. Okay, so let me not get ahead of myself. Okay, so as the movie continues, we see that she is trying to accept herself with these powers, and within these moments that she's starting to see the future, her life intercrosses with these three teenage girls. We have Maddie Franklin, we have Julia Cornwall. What is up with the name? It's supposed to be Julia Carpenter. And then of course we have Anya Corazon. Now, you guys may know these names, and if you don't, again, spoilers, you have not ever heard of these. So, these are three teenage girls. These are three teenage girls that are going to, in their adult lives, they're going to transform into certain versions of Spider Women. So, Anya Corazon is supposed to be Araña. She's known as Araña. Julia Carpenter is going to be a version of Spider Woman, as Maddie Franklin is also going to be another version of Spider Woman. Okay. They are all going to develop their own spider-like powers at certain points in their lives in different variations, in different ways. Again, if I go into the comic book lore, there's just so much of it, and this video would take forever. But if you would like to know that lore, hit me up and I will do a separate video for you guys. Let me know in the comments. Okay, so as the movie transgresses, what we see is that Cassie's mom, she went to Peru to find a mythical spider, and of course she's accompanied by quote-unquote security, and you can tell when things are going to go awry. So this security basically kind of stabs her in the back, steals a spider, and then we have her mom in a life or unalive situation where these spider people, kind of like a little spider society, and I'm saying that and people are going to be saying, oh, spider society, I've heard that before. Yes, that's also from the comic books. They arrive to try to save her, but they're only able to save Cassie, and she is born with these gifts, which later are get developed, or kind of like, I guess I'm going to say, turned on by a near unalived experience that she has when she is tossed into a river. Okay. As her emerging powers start to awaken, she starts to see these visions, and she doesn't believe what's going on. And of course, at this point, I'm watching the movie and I'm going, come on, guys, let's get there a little quicker. We have so much to go through, and I am liking the fact that we have an origin movie about Madam Web, but I'm thinking, the script needs something. This script really, something's going on. Okay, so we jump to the guy who unalived her mom so many years ago. His name is Ezekiel Sims. He also appears in the comic books, but in the comic books, he's already this, old guy who, through some kind of like ceremony or ritual, gets spider-like powers just like Peter Parker. And of course, all things ensue, and people think he's a good guy. He tries to be a good guy, but then he's actually just doing like evil things for his corporation just for greed and money. We see some of that in this version of Ezekiel Sims. And he basically, like, again, gets that spider that Cassie's mom finds, and he uses it to his own advantage, gaining spider-like powers from that spider, and just not being a very nice person. He seems to have this like recurring nightmare that he is going to be unalived by all three of these teenage girls. Okay. All right. We're almost there. And for some reason, within the movie, I did like the fact that she intertwined or interacted at some point with each of them without realizing who each of them are. So they're interconnected like a web. Okay, you're with me there? All right, let's continue. So as the movie transgresses, I'm seeing, okay, again, movie's going a little slow for my taste. We need a little bit more. It's more like Cassie is self-discovery of who she is, where she came from, and who she could, be someday, because it turns out that she does make a trip to Peru to find her roots and discover, why her mom, because she was always mad at her mom for not being in her life. And she discovers the reason why was because her mom was trying to save her in utero, because she was going to have that myasthenia disease, and she was trying to find a cure. Okay. Finally accepting her fate or her abilities or who she is supposed to be, Cassie is trying to protect these girls who, again, are going to end up having a future as being different versions of a spider character, like Araña or Spider-Girl, Spider-Woman, both Maddie and Julia Cornwall. I'm sorry, guys. I know her as Julia Carpenter. I don't know why they changed her name. If somebody knows, please let me know in the comment, because that that kept me going through the whole movie. Every time they said her last name, I was like, no, that's not her last name. I did like that they show who they become. What I wanted was for the girls to kind of like step it up a little more, because I know at one point, Julia mentioned that she knew Taekwondo, but we never get to see her use it. Again, this is where I'm going to go with this movie. The movie, I enjoyed the action. I enjoyed the development of the storyline, but it's just very poor writing. I think that there was a lot of source material that the script could have been stronger as an origin story. If you just wanted the origin story of her, you could have done it a different way. Now, one part I liked, but kind of like I'm a little on the fence of, was the interaction and the web of her being Ben Parker's best friend and co-worker, and having that has a connection to her and then the soon to be Peter Parker, because in the movie we see Mary Parker, Peter's mom, all ready to pop kind of way, about to have him, right? I mean, they never really say that that's Peter in there, but you get the hints that it's Peter. You just know. You just know. The interaction between the teenagers, of course, they're teenagers, and the actresses did a magnificent job. Again, I feel like the script could have been a little bit more solid. For instance, so you have this action going on throughout the whole movie, and you have these like plot holes, and you're just thinking, how is this happening and it's not being addressed? First of all, she steals a cab, takes off the license plates, it's all banged up, and how does she not get stopped by the cops? When in one scene, it is obvious that the cops are on an alert that they're looking for her because she apparently kidnapped the girls. And she's trying to save them, of course. But that was Xyelle tapping into all our national security things. The movie is set around in the 2000s, 2003, around there. And it's just, I don't know. And I understand that they have to bring all the source material up to date to our generation. Not my generation, because my generation would have been, a little younger. But the 2020 somethings, okay? I know it has to be brought up like that, but still, there were just key things that could have been popped in there. Like, for example, I know she flew right, she left the girls with Ben to find out more about where she comes from and her powers and what is she supposed to do to help them. And how is it possible that if she's being like chased by the cops and law enforcement, how is she able to get on a plane and go all the way to Peru? How is that even possible? And I mean, again, this is a good part of the movie, but I feel like maybe it was at the wrong point. I feel like if her powers were developing and she was having all these visions, and she could have found her mom's journal and from there gone to Peru and then come back, and then everything else had happened, that's when she like realized all that other stuff. I think it would have been, but again, I'm not a professional writer. I'm just giving my opinion, guys. This is just my opinion. Of course, the girls are teenagers. They don't yet realize who they're supposed to be. They never get told who they're supposed to be. They just know that this guy, Ezekiel Sims, wants them unalived. And of course, Ezekiel Sims, tough guy, spider-like powers, all these things at his fingertips. He's completely like this like multi-millionaire kind of guy with all these, gadgets and everything. And he just wants to not accept his fate. Can't accept that. What's happening, because all throughout the movie it's all about him trying to unalive these girls, because these girls are responsible for his demise. This is like the whole thing. She's gonna protect them. He wants them gone because they're the cause of his demise. I'm mentioning that because towards the end of the movie, where she's looking at him and he's like trying, like when Cassie's looking at Ezekiel and she's telling him, these girls were not about, it's not about them or your future with them. You were supposed to, it was about me. And I'm like, so if everything was about him and her having kind of like a showdown because he unalived her mom, why wasn't that more of a focus? That needed to be developed a little more, I think, in my opinion. Okay? Again, there's just like these little weak plot points. Not plot points, but I think it's the script. The script points, like no explanation. And I feel like these things should have been filled in, because this movie could have been more than it is. And again, I'm not saying I don't like the movie. The movie's fine and as a standalone, but it could be so much better. And I think the success of the movie definitely depended on a very strong script. You had the actors, you had the potential. I'm hoping that the audience will accept the movie, because they left a lot of room at the end for a sequel, guys. And I did like the ending, though. I'm going to say this. I did like the ending of her, accepting who she was. Her powers are now there, and she's, using them the way she's supposed to be using them. I didn't like the sunglasses though. They could have gone with a different brand. And I did like that vision of her and the girls in the future. I really did like that. That right there was like, that was on point. But again, with those different little plot twists, and also I did enjoy the fact that there were points in the movie that I didn't know if I was actually watching the reality of the movie or it was one of her visions. They did a good job on that, so good job on that, guys. So I'm gonna give you brownie points for that. But again, there's just things in the actual movie that could have been switched up, and this movie could have gotten a higher rating, at least from me. Because if I have to be honest, out of 10, I'm gonna give this movie a 6, and I think I'm being nice. Again, I love Dakota Johnson. She did a good job with the script that she had. I think the script, again, I'm going to mention the script. Again, I have my likes. Again, that ending was good. The fact of how her powers like suddenly came into fruition in one scene, and she was able to use like kind of like a astral projection kind of thing. Again, guys, sorry, spoilers. Go watch the movie. That was good. And then the part about how her blindness came on, and how I don't understand though how she became paralyzed in the movie, because I know she fell that way in the water, and then maybe the shock of the water did something to her spine. I get that, but I don't know. It just seems like again, bad writing. All right, guys. This is my reaction to Madam Web. I give it a 6 out of 10. Kind of maybe I should go down to a 5, but I have to give credit to the actresses that worked on the movie. They did an amazing job. I did like the action sequences of the future Spider-Girl and Spider-Woman sequences. I enjoyed that. I enjoy Cassie's take on Madam Web. Again, this could be a whole different universe, a whole different Earth, where things are, yes. And if they do end up doing a sequel, and I will go watch it, of course, and again, form my own opinion, but do not take my word for it, guys. Why don't you go watch Madam Web, and you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. Be honest, okay? I have to be honest with you guys. And I hope any of the things that I said in the video today helped you out to make a decision. Just, go watch it. Form your own opinion. Let me know what's up. All right. Okay, guys. Do not forget to like and subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for supporting my content. Hopefully, the next movie I react for you guys will be Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Hopefully coming out soon in March. So, fingers crossed that this one does not disappoint. All right, guys. As always, from my heart to yours, put some love out in the universe. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Don't forget, go watch the movie. Bye, guys.